Welcome to the Scream Queens Horror Movie Podcast. I am your sole survivor, Josh, or Mr. Josh.
And I'm your final girl, Justine.
Hey, Justine.
Hey, Josh.
So we are, guess what we're doing right now?
Oh.
We are headed down the highway. And where are we going, Justine?
We're going to Alabaster Cavern State Park here in Freedom, Oklahoma.
Freedom fucking Oklahoma, y'all.
America.
It's America. We're going to go see the largest gypsum cave.
It's
Maybe you can tell me.
Alabaster.
Gypsum alabaster.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe you can explain to me what gypsum is, somebody out there, but it's cool, right?
Yeah. It's like the largest one that you can, that's public. So it's not even like the largest one, just the largest one that's open to the public.
Well, aren't they tricky with their words?
I know, they are so tricky.
We're going to a cave. What do you think that means? What do you think that means,
Is it
Screen
because
Queeners?
we just watched The Descent?
Oh, we did, didn't we? We just watched The Descent.
It was so good.
That's one of my favorites. Came out 2005. It might have been wider released in 2006 because I see multiple dates. Depends on what source you look at. But the back of the DVD says 2005.
It says 2005.
It's a UK production.
Yes.
Set in Appalachia. Appalachian
in North
Mountains.
Carolina and Appalachian Mountains.
But, did you know, all filmed in the United Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just for many purposes.
They found good stand-in locations, you know.
I didn't ever feel like we weren't there.
And we have some experience with the Appalachians.
I've been to the Appalachians
me
before.
Me too, y'all.
I'm educated.
We thought, hey, let's go to a cave. Let's talk about The Descent. Like I said, one of my favorite horror movies since the 2000s. I think it's genuinely really scary, anxiety-inducing.
Yeah, it is. It is just like, I held on to my blanket the whole time, and I've seen it before, but like still like,
yeah.
It is always, it's the situations, it's the fact that, you know, there's flesh-eating humanoids coming after them.
People in small spaces.
Yeah, you're cramped, it's all that, and I don't like it. I got cramps. Yeah, no, it's really frightening.
It's pretty crazy.
Every time. But yeah, so we're going to talk about The Descent today. That's going to be our movie.
Yep, as we're headed up to Freedom, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Where does our movie start? It starts with all the girls.
It starts...
Like, river rafting,
yeah,
right?
it starts with three friends, the best friends.
The best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, those actresses did all their own stunts. They actually did the rapids, and that's them filmed.
Like doing the spelunking?
Doing the whitewater rapids at the very beginning.
Yeah. But I mean, like...
In the scene we're talking about right now.
Sorry. I thought you just meant, like, in general.
No.
Like, they...
Yeah, probably that, too, but...
Okay, so we have Juno, Sarah, and Beth. And those are the three... They're the three best friends.
That anyone could have.
Well, kind of. Anyways, they're thrill-seeking buddies that are whitewater rafting. And then we see them kind of, like...
Go their separate ways. You see Juno looking longingly at who's Sarah and her husband.
Yeah.
And like she has like this jealous face all on.
Yeah. And he also like helped her get out of like her life vest or something. It was really strange. Like you could already tell that there was something going on over there.
Cats in the cradle, y'all.
So, but on Sarah's way back home with her husband and her daughter, they get into a car accident.
Fatal car accident.
Yeah.
There's gore.
You
see poles going through people's heads. He takes a pole through the head.
Yeah. It must have been...
So,
at least it was quick.
Here we are again. Here we are again on episode 3, and a man and a child dies.
Kid killers.
They love to kill kids.
We cannot help but pick movies where, sadly,
it's like we're watching, we're like, here it goes again.
Yeah, so we get it. We've already caught on to this. I don't want anyone pointing out this, like we got it. We already figured it out. We don't know what's wrong with us, but...
So, her family's dead.
Yeah, and I guess, like, she took it pretty hard. Like, because, you know,
you see her ripping out she wakes up in the hospital and you see her ripping out, you know, her IVs.
Yeah,
and
she realizes it kind of the moment she wakes up.
She goes running through the hall. There's that big dramatic scene where her friends are holding her. One friend, Juno, can't take it. The one that's sleeping around with her husband.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, this is awful. But, like, her friend Beth is cradling her in the hallway. And all these, like, doctors.
Just walking past.
All these other people are just like, oh, who cares? Like, keep walking.
We've seen it all.
Almost like, keep calm and carry on, Sarah. Like, my goodness, she's lost it in the hallway. Well, yeah, okay, but then, like, you can tell she took it pretty hard because it's like
jump cut to a year later.
A year later, and she's having these, like, pretty graphic dreams, nightmares about, like, you know, she getting like a pole through the head.
And then they always seem to end right with her daughter's birthday.
Like, and then the vision will be like her daughter holding a birthday cake.
This is
and
Jessica.
And then she'll wake up.
Yeah.
Those are always her little dreams.
Well, the friends are back together. It's a year later. Friends are back together. They're going to stay in a cabin.
Plus more friends.
Plus
so
a few more
6
thrill-seeking ladies.
I mean, they are adrenaline-rushed females.
They are tough, and they're going to do their thing.
They're going to do it all on their own.
But you know what? It's a good cast. I believe them.
Oh, man, there are so many instances when they are, like, doing those little stunts and, like, the rock wall climbing, and I'm all like, that is insane. Those ladies are tough. Mm-hmm. Look at them. But yeah, okay, a year later, they all decide to kind of go cave diving, spelunking in the Appalachian Mountains.
Lots of good scenes of getting to know the girls in the cabins. Mm-hmm. They're,
so they
laughing, joking.
Meeting up at the cabin that first night, and they're, like, reminiscing.
They're all in America now, together.
Even though they're all British, or they're all, like, from the UK, except for Juno. She's the American.
The villain is American.
Thanks.
Everyone else has some form of English.
Yeah, everybody else is redeeming and stuff, and it has different qualities, but Juno's just like a tramp.
The American tramp.
She's a betrayer. She's prideful. It's like, okay, we get it, Neil.
So they all go out to the side. They're going to go down this big hole. But what do we see Juno do? You see her take a map.
It's like their guidebook. Yeah, and she just puts it back in the car.
Like, this is when you're like, oh, something's up with this Juno. I don't like her.
She is like, oh no, we don't need this guidebook. We can do it all on our own.
So, really cool shots of them going down the cave. By the way, they shot this all in Pinewood Studios in England, none of it shot actually in a cave.
Yeah, cave.
So shout out to the production design team. They did a great job because before I looked it up, was like, did they shoot this in a cave?
Did they shoot this in a cave? Yeah, but so the other friends, though, their names are Sam, Rebecca, and Holly. And Sam and Rebecca are sisters, and one of them's a doctor, or wants to be a doctor, is going to school to be one. And then there's Holly, and she's kind of like the young one, like, she's...
That's right.
Kind of wanting to prove something to everybody in a way. And, so yeah, I just wanted to make sure we introduced those other characters before we got too far. So anyways, they get down into that hole, and that takes them down into the cave and kind of explore it for a little bit. They take a rest, and they're eating apples and sandwiches, and that's when, you kind of get this first
sense of foreboding.
Yeah,
right?
that, like, this cave has got something going on. There might see something in the shadows, and but they decide, okay, where's, like, the next route to take, and they're all searching for it, and they find it, and they're going through it one at a time, and that's when we get to see the whole, like, tight spaces, and, like, them, like, crawling under, like, a little puddle of water, like, coming up.
Very claustrophobic.
Like, yes,
no way.
And Sarah has her moment in there where she gets claustrophobic, and
you kind of panic right along with her too.
Yeah,
she's struggling and freaking out. Yeah. And you're like,
and she's got her demons, that she's constantly dealing with, and then, like, here she is in this tight space, and everybody's gotten through it. She's the last one to go, and then start moving, and you're like, oh no.
My God.
And she's having like a panic attack.
So many scenes of them in tight, wet cracks.
You have been dying to say that, haven't you? Well, you're right. So, anyways, she's like panicking, and this little cavern is collapsing on her.
Her friend's like, okay. Her friend at this point has turned around and has crawled back, like, okay, I'm going to come
pull you out.
And she's trying to help her. She's like, don't freak out. We got this.
And then
the walls collapse.
Yeah, and then she's like,
just go.
Let's go. So they get out, and it's all collapsed. They're caved in.
They left some ropes behind. There's some things left behind, but they had no choice.
There
was zero choices.
Couldn't just go back and get the supplies. They had to go. So now their passage is collapsed, and when all the dust settles, they're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And that's when she's gonna let them know something.
She's like, guys, now that the walls are collapsed and we can't get back through, I have something to tell you.
Because they're at least thinking like help will eventually come for them, because they have to give their route numbers to like the state park and stuff. And she's like, oh no, I didn't take you guys to that cavern. I took you to one that hasn't yet been founded.
So everybody, the Rangers, think we're at a different cave.
So even if we're gone for a couple days, they're going to start looking in the wrong place.
They're going to check the other cave out. So this is another incident when you're like, you American POS.
Like, what was she thinking? Oh, she'll tell you what she was thinking. She did it for Sarah, to restore their friendship.
She's like, we can name this cave after you, Sarah.
Yeah.
And Sarah's like, no, bitch, you want to name it after yourself.
Yeah, I love how she was like, I just thought maybe we could, like, name it after you. No.
You wanted to name it after you.
No. She's kind of awful in a way, but you feel bad for her because she obviously didn't think something was going to collapse in and they were going to be in this situation.
So they make the resolution like, okay, let's truck forward. We got to keep going. We're either going to die or we keep going.
Yeah, we've got to keep going. And they're going for, cut to, they've been like looking around for a while, and they kind of finally stumble along.
She's like, stop, don't go any further.
Yeah.
And she's like, hold up, what? And they shine a light, and there's like a huge pit in between.
Exactly what they don't need. Like, basically a cutoff. But then you find out how badass these girls really can be.
Yeah. What did you think about the scene that's coming? This scene where they have to, like, I don't even know what you call it. Where they're like,
they have to like
scaling
across,
the ceiling,
scaling
with their
like
ropes
the rocks across so they can get. Basically, they're going to bridge over with like ropes, and she's hanging on to those with just her fingertips. And then they've already done the rock test and thrown it down there, and you know
it's far, far down.
Yeah, like if she falls,
they're dead.
They're all just kind of goners. So
a lot of anxiety-inducing moments in this movie where you're just on the edge of your seat, and that scene's one of them for sure.
And Juno, she sees old equipment shoved up into the rock,
in a wet,
or not Juno, it's what's her face? What's her name? The friend.
The other British girl.
Yeah, Sam. It's Sam that's doing the scaling, and she sees that there's actually old equipment there, and so she just
we're not the first ones in.
Yeah, but it's almost like she doesn't have time to address it because she's holding on by just fingertips, so she just uses it, and then everybody starts ziplining across, and then Juno, she takes up the end, and she's scaling it too, trying to get their equipment back because they don't have much. And then that old equipment gives way, and you have this moment where Juno's hang on, oh my god, everybody's oh my god,
save Juno!
Oh my god, and the rope they're holding on to it.
Oh, when it burns through her hands.
Sam's hand.
It's a major gnarly case of rope burn.
It's the worst. She's bleeding everywhere, and we get to see her sister's doctor skills come into play.
She's oh yay, I have something to do.
stop the bleeding.
So they make it across.
They do make it across.
Spoiler.
They make it across.
So, at this point, we haven't even seen.
No, we haven't seen
this movie's really known for,
Yeah.
which are the crawlers.
Yeah, we haven't seen a crawler.
There's
yet.
something else in this cave, y'all. And it's gonna get them.
We have had little notions, like, okay, I think maybe there was a silhouette or something, but
Yeah, you'll hear noises. The girls might
If you're seeing
stop
it for the
hearing
first
things.
time, then maybe you don't see it. If
Yeah.
you're seeing it like we've seen it a few times, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, yep, there, I can see it. Okay, there's like, okay, but anyway, so we haven't seen him yet, and we the girls come across
The cave painting.
a cave painting that shows them that
Just
there are
2 exits.
different ways out
To get out of the cave. They're like,
And
okay, well,
so they're like,
we
have
hope.
options.
We have hope.
Yeah. So they are like, okay, we're gonna head that way. And then Holly, like, she's like, okay,
I think I see lights.
I'm gonna headline this. I'm gonna get in front. And she thinks she sees light, even though for like ever, like all of them are
I've been
screaming
talking.
at her and telling her like,
Holly!
it's not light.
Holly,
Stop it.
Holly!
Yeah, she won't stop. And you're like, I'm sorry, if there's like 5 girls telling me that's not light.
I'm like, Holly,
and
they're
to
yelling
stop.
at you in angry British accents. You need to stop.
Yeah, and all of them are just like, no, stop, that's not light. And she's, yeah.
Yeah.
So guess what, guys? It's not light. And that bitch falls
down the hole.
in another hole. Like, they're not already far enough down into the earth.
And you hear
Now
that
she's-
sound effect. There's that sound effect of her body as she's falling down the hole, hitting the side of the cave.
Yeah, yeah.
And it makes
Well,
like this crunch sound that just
kinda
makes you like,
know
oh! You know she's
gonna
hurt.
be pretty banged up.
She's hurt.
Like, the bitch didn't fall gracefully, okay? But
You see a big bone sticking out of her leg.
yeah.
Oh.
So she broke her leg, and
It's that kind of stuff that really gets to me. Like,
It's gross.
It's like bones sticking out of body parts. That's the shit that really grosses me out.
it
but,
makes
yeah,
your
it
stomach
makes-
just
yeah.
gets so queasy. So now they've all got to go farther down to go get her. Now that she's down in this hole, and that's when Sarah, when everybody's like tending to
Sarah.
Holly and trying to set her bone back into her body.
Yeah, they just push it back on
Push
them.
it. It's really gross. But that's when Sarah hears what sounds like her daughter saying her name,
Yeah.
and then she kind of follows that, and that's when we see it.
She sees
That's
the
when we
first
see
crawler.
the crawler drinking some water.
It's such a creepy image. It almost reminds me of like Gollum. Or something like sitting there crouched drinking the water.
Very Lord of the Rings. But yeah, it's a little bit
scary.
Yeah, like it's way more frightening. So we see it, she sees it, and she tells Juno, and Juno's like,
You're seeing things.
You're crazy. But we know she ain't crazy.
She's not crazy.
And now we get to sit on eggshells because we know it's gonna come. I mean, it's gonna happen
something's
now.
Gonna happen. And once it happens, it starts happening. I have to say,
doesn't stop.
it takes about an hour for anybody to die or for the crawlers really to show up. But even that first hour, there's so much intense, scary, edge of your seat stuff that doesn't deal with the supernatural. It's just them stuck in tight spots. Or
Exactly.
having
It's
to
just
scale
like
the wall.
fears and phobias
Yeah.
that people have naturally.
Mhm. It's just a movie filled with that kind of stuff. Things that really, truly scare you.
Make you so uncomfortable. And so, yeah, now we've seen the crawler, and it's imminent that they're going to be introduced to them as well.
Yeah.
And they are. And
It's not a nice introduction. It's like, hi, Mr. Crawler.
No, they get the scent.
My name is Sarah.
They get the blood scent, from
Yeah.
Holly, and they can hear the movements going on.
They flash their lights up and they're everywhere.
And they just,
They've carried Holly out.
yeah, they got Holly back
They've
out of the
got
hole, but
Holly
now
out.
they're trying to just get back on their path, and they're all kind of standing there, and then it pans to Holly standing there, and there's a crawler right behind her, and it just grabs her, and then it's on. There's crawlers, and they're all having kind of a smackdown.
Yeah.
And
it's like
Juno's
that scene's so cool.
Yeah.
Like just
the
these-
girls are kind of
they're
like
just going at it.
running in all directions away
Juno
from
gets
crawlers.
attacked, and
Yep.
she's just fighting this crawler off. And I almost
That
wonder how
crawler-
much was choreographed, or if it was just, okay, you guys go at it, be careful.
Yeah, like
You know, because it seems very natural, their fight. Like, they're just really
oh man, where you're just
rolling
like
around on the ground.
holding on to my blanket,
Yeah.
so scared.
You're like, go Juno, even though, I mean, you dislike Juno,
Yeah,
but you
but
also
she-
like
but
her.
You like Holly,
she's a
and
well-ra-
Holly's being taken away
Yeah.
with the crawlers, and Juno's just trying to get her.
Yeah.
But she's got to fight off like crawlers as she's trying to. And anyways,
And the characters are well-rounded, so even though
Yeah.
Juno does some shitty stuff, she's fleshed
she's not
out.
she's not a terribly awful
Yeah.
human being. Like she just she is a little bit of a cheater. But and she's prideful. I mean, she wanted to found a cave and was deceitful about how she was going to do it. And but so Juno, she doesn't. She gets the crawler off of her. She kills him, but like doesn't get her friend Holly back. The other girls have ran off.
They've tore up Holly.
Yeah, Sarah fell down and got knocked out. She gets knocked out a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
But then Beth kind of like walks up behind Juno.
And Juno, and even the audience at this point, you hear a noise.
You think it's a crawler.
She has her big, I don't even know what it's called. It's like a big pickaxe almost.
Yeah, it is a pickaxe.
And she's,
she
turns
just turns around
and knocks it.
And she whacks the pickaxe right into Beth's neck.
Thinking it was a crawler. So
And
you have this shot of just this pickaxe sticking out of her neck. It's sad and terrifying.
Yeah, it looks
and
so gross.
Looks so painful.
And yeah, it is sad because she would not have done that. Juno's not a killer, you know.
It was
so
it's kind of what she does after that. She just leaves her there.
how she just leaves her there
She
to
pulls
suffer.
the pick out. Yeah, pickaxe out. It just leaves her there.
And that's,
Hardcore.
gonna come back to haunt her. The reason why, that happens. So we've got Juno dealing with that. She's walking away from Beth, and Beth's just gonna be left there to, I guess, bleed out. Sarah, who's off somewhere in that den area, but she's got knocked out.
Yeah.
And then the sisters, they've run off. They're hiding in like a little cramped space, hiding away from
Is that when the
crawler.
watch goes off?
Yes, that's when the watch
she
goes
has to throw
off.
the watch, and he's right up in her face, and it's pretty intense.
Yeah. So we get, though, by this interaction with them, that the crawlers
They're
can't
kinda blind,
see. Yeah.
And they have this nasty white film that goes over their eyes.
It's really gross.
I read somewhere that the director, what's his name, Neil Marshall?
Yeah.
Neil Marshall?
Yep.
Yeah. That he wanted the crawlers to have like a Nosferatu look.
Yeah.
Which I can totally see. They have that pure white.
It's
teeth, the hands.
frightening.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Scary looking, for sure. So they've got that going on, and that's a really scary scene. And Sarah, though, she wakes up in the den with amongst like animal bones and human bones. You can see there's like a skull and everything, and she wakes up to Holly being like thrown down there, and they start just like devouring on her. It's gnarly. Everyone except for the sisters are alone. Juno's on her own. Sarah's now on her own. I mean, Holly's dead, and she's having to stay completely quiet because they're eating right in front of her.
They're just like, how are they going to get out of here?
Yeah, how could they possibly get out of here?
Because you get the sense that there's a lot of crawlers.
Yeah.
There's been shots of them on the ceiling crawling around.
Yeah, there's not just like a little family.
Coming out to feed.
So, Juno is on her own, and she finds like these arrows on the cave walls.
Yes.
They kind of look like maybe they're going to show her a path out, because by now they've figured out that there was somebody else here. They saw the equipment. I mean, Sarah runs into other stuff when she like makes that lantern out of that old kerosene lamp and stuff, and a helmet. Looks like there's a helmet there and stuff. But so we get that there were other people before, and they were obviously devoured. Yeah.
Because we see lots of bones, but you see a lot of animal bones.
Mm-hmm.
They even say something like they sense like there's got to be a way out because they're going up to the surface and bringing food back
to bring
down.
food back down. Exactly. And so the girls need to find each other, and Juno and the sisters, they find each other first.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah finds Beth inside the den, and Beth, you know, she's hanging on by she's bleeding out from her neck, but she's able to like give Sarah this like necklace that was Juno's. Whenever Beth like fell down after Juno had like hit her with the pickaxe, she took like the necklace from Juno, like wrapped around her, and she took it off of her.
So she knows that Juno didn't help her, or had something to do with the death.
Yeah. So
she puts it together.
She's pretty spot on. And then Beth asks her to kill her, to give her a mercy killing, because she doesn't seem to be dying quickly, and she doesn't want to be.
So she takes a big ass rock, and the camera pulls back, and you, bam, crunch. It's pretty gross, but you're glad Beth is out of her misery.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask I would ask the same of you.
Oh gosh!
If we were in that situation,
I don't know.
I would, and hopefully you would do it.
Like, close your eyes.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I feel Beth. I would not want to lay there and be eaten.
Yeah.
So I would totally Josh,
do me in,
please. Bash my head in.
I'm like, hold on, let me go find a really big rock. I'll be back, I promise.
And then you don't come back. And I mean, not the way I wanted to go out. Gosh.
I'm like, just looking for a rock.
Oh, man. Okay, so, but she sees the necklace, and then she flips the necklace over, and it's got, like, this little saying that her husband said, but it's Juno's necklace. So that's how she, like, puts it together, that Juno's having an affair with her husband. And then she gets attacked by this, like, family of crawlers. And she kills all of them like a crazy psycho. She has, like, a mental breakdown.
Takes that pickaxe.
And just goes to town on those people. And she hides under the water. That's all bloody.
She comes up very Apocalypse Now style.
Yeah. And she's like... Yeah, she just looks straight crazy.
Warrior princess.
And that one crawler, like, walks on her. Mm-hmm. And she is supposed to, like... just be completely... Quiet. Yeah, she has to act dead. So that guy won't eat her up. And she's always having these, like, birthday visions. So you know she's, like, going crazy. She's always thinking about her daughter. And isn't this supposed to be, like, this whole adventure for them? The reason why they even went is, like...
to get her mind off
of her
family.
Yeah, because it was her daughter's birthday again. It was a year later.
That's right.
And so that's why she has, like, the birthday cake kind of, like, visions.
Yeah, with her daughter's name on it. And you see her daughter's kind of like her silhouette. You see her blow out the candles, but you don't never see, like, a full, clear picture of her.
Yeah.
It's very dreamy.
Yeah.
Very dreamy.
You get this, you obviously get the sense that it's just, like, a vision. And she's just wishing for something. Juno and Sam and Rebecca, though, they're following those arrows or whatever, and they decided to try to find Sarah if they can, if they, like, bump into her, I guess. At this point, I mean, like, I would feel the sense that, like, we gotta go, like, we're gonna get eaten.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here,
the two sisters, at least, are like, no, like, she's probably eaten if, like, Juno almost wants to make sure that they have Sarah, but, so then there's another, like, little rock climbing, like, thing that happens for the doctor sister, the one that wants to be a doctor, and she gets killed by a crawler, and then the other sister gets dragged through a cavern, and her fingernails all fall off, and so Juno's left.
Yeah, that's really gross. There's nothing worse than seeing fingernails and toenails getting popped
removed.
off.
It's
the
nasty.
implication of that happening is just as bad.
Oh no, I think it would be quite enjoyable. I would love to have my fingernails removed.
This next, Juno finds Sarah.
Yeah, Juno finds Sarah. Sarah finds Juno. And And they kind of have, like, a moment where you think...
Okay, they're gonna make a...
Yeah, like, Sarah asks her about Beth. Like, when's the last time she saw Beth? And she lies.
Yeah, she lies about
She's
it.
not gonna tell Sarah that she accidentally killed her or anything.
She's like, it was a real oopsie.
Like, oh, I killed our friend.
And
Like,
then I was terrible and I left her.
We're no longer the three best friends. But they decide to set up like a little booby trap, you know, for crawlers and stuff, because they're gonna try to, you know, take that path out. Yeah, but they're like, let's try to take out a whole bunch of crawlers. And they do, and it looks really cool, and they're fighting off all these crawlers.
Yeah, the last half of the movie, last half hour, is just nothing but just
like action-packed
cool action, fighting, gore.
It looks really awesome.
Everything you want in a horror movie.
And, they set the trap up for a whole bunch of crawlers to get killed, and they get killed. They take them out. And afterwards, Sarah and her just, like, kind of, you know, she's in a different state of mind now. She has gone through a shit ton of stuff.
She's like, man, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I am just getting
What is going on? First my family, now my friends.
I can't seem to get a break around here.
So what kind of girl a break?
But Sarah shows Juno the necklace.
Yeah.
And Juno's like,
oh hey.
Okay, you actually know.
And what
You already know everything.
And what did Sarah do? She take the high road?
She take the high road? Hell no!
She's like, bitch, you're dead.
Hell no! She takes...
You got me into this mess. You fucked my family.
You fucked my friends.
And now they're all dying.
I'm a fucking kneecap up. And she takes a pickaxe. Boom!
Bam.
To Juno's knee. And now she's just a sitting duck for
she's
those
like,
crawlers.
Bye, girl.
Yeah. She's like, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. You're out.
Bye, Felicia. I'm out. And she takes that path.
Mm-hmm. And Juno dies.
Yeah, and Juno has this, like, one last moment where she's like, okay, I'm going to toughen up. I'm going to, you know, like, she tries to take out as many as she can, I guess, like, on her way out, but Juno's out. She's
out.
Nixed. And so anyway, Sarah like finds the path out.
Yeah.
You know, she's like
starts crawling
all the way up. You can see this like guiding light almost.
It's a really cool image of like darkness, the white of the bones, and then the light shining in.
And there's her just crawling out.
Yeah, just trying to get up all these bones.
And she does. She crawls out of the cave, and she's all like, ah!
Yeah, she's just running,
like screaming.
Pushes herself out the peat moss. She goes for it.
She finds the cars.
Lunatic.
Yeah, she finds the cars that they, you know, had left there when they started their cave diving experience. Gets in it, and
she drives for it. She's driving like a bat out of hell.
She's like, I'm getting the fuck out up there. I just left all my friends.
She's screaming.
They're dead.
She's driving at least 90, 100 miles per hour down these winding, supposedly Appalachian
like mountain roads. Yeah. And she finally, I guess, decides to pull over and get herself together. And she's like, oh my God,
She's like, okay, now I gotta live through this drive now.
All right, so I'm gonna lay my head down. I'm just gonna take a little rest. I'm shut my eyes for 2 seconds. And this girl has another hallucination. She lifts her head up, and there's dead Juno in the seat next to her.
And dead Juno just gives her this look. You jump, she jumps.
Yep.
We all jump.
And then
depending on what version you're watching.
Depending on the two different versions that are available for you to see, you either get to see her make it out of the cave, or you get to see her wake the fuck back up.
And she's back in the cave. And then she has
it was all
a dream. And she has a hallucination of the birthday again with her daughter.
And like then it like looks like the daughter's like in the cave with her, and it pans out and you see how deep down in the cave she is, and then
the end.
And then the end.
So in the American version, we get our happy-go-lucky, all-American
we get our ending
version of
We get our happy ending where
America
someone lives.
deserves a happy ending.
That's the main point, is that, like, in the U.S. version, you get to see her live. And then in the
rest of the world version.
like in the worldwide version, you get to see that no one makes it.
No one made it out.
Nobody makes it out. Nobody founds anything.
You get a sense he still tried to make it a happy ending.
Yeah,
like now she's with her daughter.
She's resting.
Again.
Yeah, like she even at the very end, kind of gave a smile, like when she saw the vision of her daughter with the birthday cake.
Yeah.
She accepted it. She knew, and you could hear the crawlers. They were just getting louder and louder. They were getting closer to her. She wasn't ever going to make it out, and that's a sad, sad thing.
Good movie. Well, here's the deal, y'all. We're going through some creepy small town that I'm sure has a bunch of crawlers in it. On our way to Alabaster Caverns.
Yes.
We will try to report to you from the caves themselves. But if it's like a group situation,
yeah, we're not quite sure.
We're not going to be like the weirdos talking to our phone.
Yeah.
Saying like, no guys, we have a podcast.
We've got friends listening, so
people are listening.
No, so anyways, yeah, we're gonna pull in eventually to the Alabaster Caverns, and if we can, we'll report to you inside them. If not, we'll report to you, when we get back in.
We'll get back, we'll do our knives rating, we'll do our favorite scenes, talk a little bit more just about the movie, about our final thoughts. Yeah, our final
thoughts.
So we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Wish us luck.
All right.
See you in a
Peace
bit.
out.
Bye. And we are back.
We're the two best friends that anyone could have.
And we're live. We made it out of the cave.
We made it out of the Alabaster Caverns. We didn't get taken by the crawlers.
And you know what? We searched for them, but we did not see any crawlers.
I was looking back. I was like, "You there?"
Hello?
No, they weren't there. We saw some like little salamanders
we saw bats.
Bats were in there.
Flying around.
It was
I saw
fun.
a little lizard. What I think is a scorpion. I saw a scorpion in the dark.
Yeah.
They tested they sensory deprived us and turned all the lights out.
We went down to the area of total darkness,
Yes.
and they turned the lights out, and then like it didn't matter if your eyes were open or closed. It was just dark in there. It was pitch dark.
It almost gave me a sense of like vertigo. Like I had to close my eyes because it was almost making me like, ugh.
Oh, you were having vertigo.
I was having a hardcore vertigo. I'm a dramatic bitch, okay? No, but it was really fun. It was really neat. It took about 45 minutes to walk through. It was up and down, fun clay terrain that we were walking through. We saw some really beautiful alabaster and gypsum
rock formations. Yes,
some beautiful
alabaster.
gypsum.
Yes, and they better explain.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really cool. Wasn't as like grand. We've been to
like Carlsbad.
And that's like very majestic, very grand. It takes an hour just to go down to the main open floor.
Yeah.
And then that takes another hour to go through. So this was a little bit more intimate, but it was cool. It was more rugged and
I got
really
clay
cool.
on me. I still have it on me. I'm gonna keep it on me forever.
So she'll never forget.
I'll never forget.
So, and I'll never forget the descent. Tie that in.
You'd like segue, like, boom, just titled.
So do you have a favorite scene? What's your favorite?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I have like a couple favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Probably, like, but they're all scenes of Sarah. I just like her, like, hardcore fighting scene with that family of crawlers.
Yes.
Because she just has like a complete psychotic break at that point.
She kind of does. She's like, I'm out of here. My wits are at an end.
It's almost like she left Sarah behind, and she's like this like
warrior.
Yes, like she's like a little goddess.
Bloody warrior princess.
She's having to like
blood and water.
She's just having to like kick ass real quick.
Yeah.
And she's all on her own, like for a little bit of it.
All by myself.
Don't wanna be okay.
In a cave all by myself.
But yes, I really like that scene, and then I enjoyed the twist at the end. I know you kind of have a little bit more problems than I do.
I believe Americans deserve a happy ending.
I'm kind of okay.
No, I don't mind the other.
Worldwide.
I don't mind the other scene. I think it's because when I originally saw the movie,
it was
2005, 2006. I saw it on DVD rental.
Yeah.
First.
I kind of like how it twists at the very end.
That's how I saw it, and I guess I didn't realize until I, rewatched it this most recent time that there was an alternate.
Like,
and it blew my mind. I was like, no, she's alive.
But it's like kind of cool once you accept it, once you realize that no, she probably didn't.
I'm still in the stage of denial. Sarah is alive.
That river. Yeah, so I love those two scenes a lot. I liked so much of it. It was
my
just
turn.
a great movie. So, okay. Well, I was gonna get to you. Here you go.
Joshing. Just
joshing.
I'll start off. I love the scene at the beginning when she gets stuck. To me, that's one of the most anxiety, edge of your seat moments when they're crawling through that. I think it's the first hole.
Yeah.
And Sarah, everyone else makes it through.
Yeah,
Sarah
and then she
gets
has
stuck.
her.
There's a real sense of
her panic attack.
Yeah, there's just
there's a
real sense of danger.
Yeah.
Real sense of
you feel the pressure.
Intimate danger. Enema danger.
Did you have an enema earlier?
Those tight, wet cracks.
Intimately. Okay, yeah. So getting in a tight crack.
And also when they have to climb over the big gully. No, I don't know what to call it. The big.
I know the heavy rock climbing scene. Yeah, where they're kind of scaling across it. Yes, it's very Ninja Warrior of them.
So I really like. Those are things that I really like before the crawlers even come in.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. And then do you have other scenes when the crawlers are in that are your favorite?
Kind of the stuff you mentioned. Even the first attack is pretty terrifying when Juno gets attacked and she's knocking him around.
Yeah. When you first see him, when Holly's standing there and it's just boom, that's what they look like. It's right behind him. There's so many awesome gotcha scenes in this that I just enjoy it so much.
And it takes its time, and you really get to know the characters. So when they are getting
you're like, no, Doctor Girl, no, Rebecca.
Who's gonna wrap your sister's hand?
Yeah, she's getting hurt. Okay, you guys to be sticking around. I know. I really do develop a likeness for most of all the characters.
And some of them are a little annoying. Like I said, sometimes, hey, a British accent can get on my damn nerves. They should call it Crumpets and Caves. Okay?
Yeah, it's just
tea time.
Yeah, you can't. Sometimes you just can't even.
But at least they're authentic. There's nothing worse than a bad American British accent, an American trying to do a British accent. So
yeah, we don't even attempt them because that's just a shame.
Jolly ho. Go from that.
Okay, so knowing all that, let's get to our knives.
All right.
What are you rating this, Mr. Josh?
I'm kind of at a thing because I don't know if I went overboard last episode and gave too high a score to Sleepaway Camp, but I gave it a higher score for different reasons because it's funny, it's campy, it knows what it is, and I gave Sleepaway Camp a 3.5, and I think I'm going to go as high. It's one of my favorites of the 2000s, The Descent. I think I'm going to go with a 4 to 4.5.
Okay,
maybe.
I was going to give it.
It's not a 5. It's not a classic yet. It hasn't.
Well, I mean,
there's some,
5
there's
make
some iffy CGI stuff, but it's early 2000s, low budget. They do a great job with the production design. Like I said, there was moments I wonder if they were in real caves.
Yeah, yeah.
And the scares are there. There's
the magic
high anxiety, edge of your seat almost the whole time.
You know, just like they're thrill-seeking ladies.
Then you get your monster slasher fun shit at the last half hour. You know, I think it's just a really fun, creepy horror movie that really feeds off people's real life fears and their imagination. So I guess do I have to? Can I say 4 or 4.5, or do I have to give it a definite?
No, you have to give it a definite.
I'm gonna go a little high and go 4.5.
Oh wow!
Is that too high?
You kind of just encapsulated everything that I would have said about that movie, Mister. But mean, yes, like, I would give it a 4. That's what I had in mind. At first, when you were, like, giving it a 4, I was like, oh, well, that's mine. I thought
I
we were
get
gonna...
a reputation of going too high.
No. These are your feelings, Mr. Josh. You just have your feelings. No. I'm going to give it a 4. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, like, it'll be one that I, want to watch, time and time again. It'll probably always give me the heebie-jeebies. And
I love them heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, and it feels like you said, it kind of feeds on your real natural fears, like things that could really happen, and then on your more fantastic like fears, like these monsters. But like they're when they're crawling through the caves, there's no worse feeling than being completely like like confined, and you're just like stuck, and there's rocks falling. It just doesn't get kind of any worse.
And I'm sure there's people out there like, oh, this movie, there's no way there could be such thing as crawlers. It's like, of course not.
Okay.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's like, a scary movie. This is a dimension where we do get to have them.
It's like, in this movie, that's in a world just like ours.
In a universe like ours,
they
got to have
these creatures.
Yes, these
but they didn't
flesh-eating humanoids.
As you push up your glasses and shake your finger.
Flesh eaters. Yeah, so 4.5 for Mr. Josh.
Whoops, I'll survive.
I'm going to give it a solid 4.
Yeah.
4 knives. I'm going to stab it. But, hey, maybe, Mr. Josh, you could enlighten our listeners on too.
So, this is episode 3. Coming up, we have a very special episode for you.
It is so special.
For episode 4, we are going down to Tejas.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're going to go visit some friends. Oz and Stephanie. Whoop, whoop. And we are going to visit a very classic horror movie house.
Yes.
In Texas. What do you think it might be?
In Texas, horror movie.
Oh, we're going to go to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house.
Yep.
So, episode 4, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Look for us in a good solid month.
Yeah.
It'll be around the 16th-ish weekend time.
That's when we'll do it. Yep.
You'll be hearing from us in a good month.
All right. We really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for listening.
I hope everyone has a fantastic, scary evening.
All right.
Or day.
Well, I'm your final girl, Justine.
I'm your soul survivor, Josh. Good night.